biggest lessons you learned from Georgia Tech, and how much does that carry over into this game?
There's a lot of lessons we learned in Georgia Tech. There's a lot of explosive plays that was kind of not necessarily the whole defense, but I think that's the one thing that's carrying over is everybody has to do their job. And going further, and now in the Navy, that's the biggest thing. There's not much you can really tweak when playing that offense. It's just the things that you can tweak are the details of doing your job to defend that offense.
What was different in the second half, though? What did you guys do better in the second half against Georgia Tech?
I think we just executed a lot better. One of the biggest things going into that specific offense or defending that offense is the tempo of it, like just how quick the triple option is. I mean, because you can go as quick as you want with the look teams, like our rocks teams that we have, but you still won't know until on game day, like how quick it is. And Navy is really fast, and they may even be a little bit faster than Georgia Tech, like just the tempo of the offense. And I think that's like one of the biggest things.
Is that the biggest difference with how Navy runs it compared to Georgia Tech?
Yeah, Navy runs it just as good as Georgia Tech, if not a little bit better, this year anyway. And that's a key thing to it, just the speed of the triple option.
Have you changed anything in the preparation from when you were preparing for Georgia Tech to now preparing for Navy?
We might have changed one or two things here and there, but I mean, to be honest, there's not much you could change like when you are playing this offense. So just the detail, just your part, doing your job. Because if you don't do your job, they're going to find it and they're going to score. I mean, it's big gains. That's what their offense is made for. Big 9-yard gains. It's big chunks. So that's kind of to answer your question.
Do you feel like having played Georgia Tech this season, that kind of gives you an advantage over maybe a typical team that played Navy just once?
Oh yeah, I definitely think it works out in our favor. Definitely to get exposed to it, to get live reps of it, like game reps. Because I mean, you can get great reps and good looks on the practice field, but I mean, there's just some, game day is a lot different. And very fortunate to have played Georgia Tech, and it's fortunate because we have to play Georgia Tech next year, and if we want to win the ACC championship, we got to go through them again.
What's the challenge of having a month between games, playing a team that has only 2 weeks between games?
I think in my perspective, one of the biggest challenges is you have a lot of time off. I mean, I know there is a lot of practices, and a lot of people are saying, like, this is a whole nother spring ball. But, I mean, that time off can really, I wouldn't say hurt you, but get you out of whack a little bit. So now getting back into the rhythm, it's a week out, and going back into these practices, it's good to get your body in game shape and keeping it in shape, because a couple of days off here and there, I mean, it kind of gets you out of whack a little bit sometimes.
Timing a little better, though, than waiting till January?
Oh, no question about it. As a student, as a football player, it's exciting that it is when it is, so we can have a little time with our families and close ones before school starts again.
Along those lines, are you personally happy to get this game, this matchup, this bowl and everything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the Military Bowl is pretty sweet. I mean, a lot of people weren't too fond of it because we had to play the triple option. I don't necessarily think it was the bowl itself or even Navy. It was just the fact that we had to play triple option. You can't run a regular base defense out of that and run our schemes and what Coach Narduzzi and Coach Conklin normally have against a traditional spread or pro-style offense.
Coach Narduzzi said in there that one of the things that's motivation for this game is what happened to you guys in the bowl game last year. I mean, is that sort of on your minds at all as you prepare for this one? Just sort of like, hey, we lost that one last year and it was a really bad taste in our mouths all off season.
For me personally, no. I mean, last year is last year. I mean, it's a whole other story. Coach Narduzzi could say that. We understand his perspective, but I mean that book is closed and in a closet, and I'm moving on to this year and what we have to do, because it's a whole other ball club, a whole other team, and a whole other goal.
How much of a break will you get after the game before you start winter conditioning?
We'll probably get that first week off, coming back into classes, and then probably the second week is optional, but not as a whole team, but probably come in. You're mandatory to get like two lifts a weekend, and then we'll go how you get into the program.
So it's like an 11-month program for you.
It's a 365-day program.
Yeah.
Mike, I know it's another opponent, but is it different when it's a service academy that you play against?
Yes. Going down there, I mean, I played special teams against them 2 years ago, and there's so much tradition, and that's something that sticks out to me the most. And you definitely honor and respect what they're about. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're a ball club that wants to beat you, so we got to line up in between the lines and do what we got to do to get a win.